This is about you. Not your wife, not your husband, not your son, daughter, not your brothers, not your sisters, not your mother or your father. It's about you. Nobody is going to force food down your throat. You're the one that controls that. All right? And what we're here to do is give you information that will give you the idea of what the best food is that should go down your throat. Okay? Do not forget that it's about you. Okay. Now, also do not forget that the information you have has my phone number on it, my email address, and so on. Do not hesitate to call or email me. I'd be happy to do the best I possibly can for you, make suggestions, and so on and so forth. Happy to do it. All right, so you have, already we have a link, and I'm happy to help, and don't worry about it whatsoever. It won't be bothering me. I'll feel good about it, and maybe we can help you. Okay. Heartbeats for Life. We have regular free monthly meetings at the Southwest Chairman Library, which is behind Savannah Mall. All right? Please consider coming. We have free meetings, and bring a friend or two. You'll get a tasting of a couple of foods, and you'll get a handout or two. You'll see educational videos. You'll meet like-minded people, and make a friend or two. They're usually on the third Tuesday of the month. Not always, because sometimes the election or something like that gets involved. For example, it did this time. Our next meeting is next Tuesday, so 6 days from now, on the 26th. It's Healthy Cooking Made Easy. You see cooking demos and gain a better understanding of the real foods you want to eat and the ones you should avoid. It's all free. Our next meeting after that, on August 16th, is again a free meeting. It's going to be a live talk and a question and answer with Dr. Pam Popper. Dr. Pam Popper has been with us before, and food over medicine. Most of the books that you see, most of the information you'll get from me may include a reading list, and if so, they're almost all available from the library. So, it's free, it's easy. Take a look. Okay, our free meetings are from 6 to 7:45. So we'll have a little food and you'll meet lots of friends. Now for a sales pitch, kind of. Okay, I've been doing this for almost 15 years. And you'll understand why as I get through this. But it's really been great. Absolutely been great, okay? And driving me and so on. But having the monthly meetings, as good as they are, and as good as they get results, many people want to do it faster. They've got a problem, they've got an issue coming up, they want to do it now, as best they possibly can, okay? So we designed a program that will give you the information you need as quick as you can. When I'm using this, it sounds as though it's vibrating too much or something, but I don't know. I mean, okay. Is that better?
Yes.
Can you still hear me back there?
Yes.
Oh, okay, all right, because it sounds to me like it wouldn't be beyond here, all right? But if you can't hear me, make sure, I want to make sure you, okay. I apologize for the vibration. All right, good. Okay. All right, so our next class series will start in a couple weeks, so if you have an interest at all, just let us know, okay? And, we're happy to talk to you about it. Right? We're proud to introduce our updated program, Prevent and Reverse Type 2 Diabetes, Heart Disease, Excess Weight, High Blood Pressure, Cancer, and other lifestyle-related chronic diseases. This physician-proven and documented program, with hundreds of local successful graduates, attests to our proven current statistics. Type 2 diabetes reverses in about 9 weeks or less for over 90% of the people. And I'll tell you right now, 90%, it's really almost 99%. All right, who follow our suggestions without any medications, Works even if you've been suffering from diabetes for over 20 years. Those with high cholesterol lose 100 points in 8 weeks or less. We've had people lose 100 points in only 4 weeks. And that's really great. Again, without any medications. No supplements, nothing like that. Blood pressure returns to normal, what it was when you were probably 15 years old, in about 5 weeks. Again, without any medications. Major measurable improvements in health status to people with type 1 diabetes as well, but type 1 cannot be completely reversed. Those who need to lose excess weight lose about 1 to 4 pounds a week for as long as they need to. Additionally, many people save lots of money. One is saving over $1,200 a month. And I told that fellow, I said, look, what you want to do, you've been spending $1,200 a month for years. I said, from now on, you still spend it. You put it in the bank in a special account. And once a year, you've got a fund you really can do something with. And it's kind of like a bucket list kind of situation. I said, instead of just, absorbing it in regular household issues. And and he's done it at least once, I know, so that's really good. Okay, right, you save money because your doctor will discontinue the many medications that you might be on, or not subscribe them to you because you won't need them. Your doctor will do the same for you. Okay? We don't do that. I'm not a doctor. Right? I don't do that. Right? But your doctor will, because you won't need it anymore. This also eliminates many of the harmful side effects, and many of you people have no idea of the medications you take and the side effects you've been suffering. And once you get rid of them, you say, what happened? And it's like, wow, you got rid of all that stuff that was hurting you, you didn't even know. Most people pay for this program within 2 to 4 weeks, and the money saved by no longer need the medications. As we hear all the time, it's the best bargain of my life. We've had a few people get the total cholesterol, both numbers, total cholesterol below 100. Many lose over 100 pounds, a few lose over 200 pounds. Gone on blood pressure medications, cholesterol medications, diabetes medications, and many, many others. It's just really great. This means that heart disease, our #1 killer, should never be a factor in your life again. The diabetes complication should never worry about again. Concerns about cancer should completely relax. Why do this program? Because it has a proven track record for many years right here in Savannah. Because it is a powerful disease reversal prevention tool. Because it is based on the best scientifically proven information available. Because it helps participants achieve lasting change. Because we teach skills, not sell products. Because you will be able to enjoy life again because it works. You view powerful and entertaining, very educational videos with thoughtful live discussion to answer your questions and enhance the learning process. You'll get several handouts to take home that reinforce the lessons learned in that class. You'll get over 25 different tastings of food and dishes made just for you. You will get over 60 recipes and access to hundreds more. You'll get several live, quick, and easy cooking demonstrations. You'll experience peer support that will help with motivation, encouragement, fun, and more. You will get a year of ongoing support from your instructors. You will learn how to easily and quick order meals at restaurants without a problem. You will learn how to enjoy a meal at a friend's or relative home without concern. You will learn what to get when you need and want your local supermarket quick and easy. You will learn to better communicate with your doctor about your medications. You will lose weight if needed without counting calories or carbs or restriction portions. And you do not feel hungry. Yes, you can eat more and weigh less. But we'll show you how. And literally, if you're eating a standard American diet now, and you switch to what we do, you literally will eat much more food than you're eating now. And you want to eat 3 times a day, do it. You want to eat 5 times a day, do it. 7 times, do it. No problem. And if you need to lose weight, you still will do it, even though you're eating extra meals and stuff. Because you need to have food, no question. We'll show you about how that all works. Right? This will save a lot of money, save a lot of time, and completely eliminate the mere side effects of medications you might be on. Diabetes complications include heart disease, stroke, hypertension, blindness, kidney disease, nervous system impairment, amputations, cholesterol imbalance, and more. Many falls are due to unsteady gait, poor circulation to the limbs, neuropathy. This can be prevented or reversed if you're already suffering. Again, this can be prevented or reversed by changing your diet. And we can show you exactly what to do and how to do it. Lots of times you can read a book, get information and stuff like that, But it really doesn't kind of, how do I do this, what do I do? It gets very confusing. We show you step by step by step by step, so you know. This program will maximize your immune system to get your body able to fight the daily battles we all face. Eyes get better. Many people have stood up, in fact they're here right now, some people, and said, we just came back from the eye doctor, and for the first time, I don't need glasses, or for the first time, my prescription went down, not up. So my eyes are actually getting better. It's amazing because I'm older and so on and so forth. How does this work? I don't care, just as long as it works, it's good. Yeah. So the immune system breathing is good and so on. Right? Ears get better, hearing gets better and so on. Nails get stronger, hair grows stronger, mind gets a little sharper, teeth and gums get better and so on. When I first changed my diet, the first person that really knew that I changed, because I went to my regular doctor, my dentist, and for cleaning, and the gal's working on my teeth, and she says, this is a lot better than you've ever been. And she'd been my caregiver in that area for 5 or 6 years. She says, what'd you do? Why are you doing it? She says, oh, your gums are much better, no more bleeding and stuff like that. Everything's great. What'd you do? I said, really? I said, well, wait a minute. I said, I did change my diet. She says, you go vegan? I said, well, yeah. I like using the word vegan. Yeah, I said, no more animal stuff. She says, that's what it is. I knew it, she says. I knew something was going on. How much better your gums were and stuff. She says, congratulations, too. She gave me a hug, and I, okay. Right? But, it works. It works. Okay. All right. There have been others in the area who come close to our program, and they charge $7,500. There are some out-of-state programs as well, and they average around $6,500, plus your cost of airfare and so on and so forth. We now have 2 programs to choose from. Our standard program is a 7-week course. You meet once a week for 7 weeks. You get all the information you need to know, the why and the how to do it. The cost is $450. That's even less than 10% of what people are charging. Our premium program is a total of 9 class meetings. We are introducing this program because several class members from our 7-week program suggested they would like to have another class or 2 to ensure they get more reinforcement. And they enjoyed the class session so much, they just did not like to see them end. The cost of that is $550. Some people think it's a lot of money, but they do not consider the money they will save. Average savings for a diabetic across the United States is $330 per month. You can pick from the following times and programs. We have different days during the week, maybe morning, afternoon, weekends, and so on, whatever works. I know it seems like a lot, but importantly, we have proven this for many years. We get the results mentioned. The team conducting this program, myself and Carolyn Gifford, who I think is still out there. Carolyn, are you here? And when she comes in, I'll introduce her. And we have a long history of success right here in Savannah, helping clients step into this new lifestyle. So contact us. Is it your turn? Classes are small, seating's limited, starts pretty soon, so reserve your space if you want to do it. Answer all kinds of questions for you, no problem at all. Now is the time to change your life for the better. Here's some words from people who have been through the program. All right? A statement from JB. And these people, if you come to our regular meetings, they often come and you can meet them and stuff like that. Right? On January 29th, the day of the snowstorm, it didn't happen. My wife received our first delivery of the local farm bag. And Eric is out here with the local farm bag information. As she read her website, she spotted a notice about Heartbeats for Life. And a class that began that night. She called me and wrote me immediately. And that was probably one of the best spur-of-the-moment decisions she has ever made. I forgot I had my Lucas. I usher at the Lucas, I had my pin on it probably. But anyway. All right, so spotted was my Heartbeats. Class began. She called me and wrote me immediately. It's probably one of the best spur-of-the-moment decisions she has ever made. Jeff and Carolyn taught me about the benefits of plant-based diet. They shared the knowledge on how to lower cholesterol, counter diabetes, ward off Alzheimer's, and lose weight in the process. I wasn't sure I could follow this new way of eating. especially since I enjoyed eating steak and cheese, loaded baked potato quite often. Well, ever since it was only for 7 weeks, I thought I'd at least give it a try, and try I did. I adhered to the plan, lost 4 pounds the first week, and a total of 27 pounds in the 9 weeks since the crisis began. My blood pressure is down significantly. The doctors take me off of my meds, and the rest would follow, and they did. These are all medications now. All right. Jeff gave us many easy-to-make plant-based recipes. He also cooked several dishes each week. Many of them become staple our new eating. Jeff, Karen, Heartbeats for Life have made new people out of my wife and I. We live a thinner, healthier, and more active life. One more statement from TR. When I was 50 years old, Dr. Gilly with Chatham Medical gave me a complete physical and said I had hypertension, high blood pressure. He also said I would be taking medication for the rest of my life. 10 years later, Dr. Laura Brown said I had type 2 diabetes and would be taking medication for the rest of my life. In August of 2012, I was in Daphne Park walking through the health fair. He met me in a tent that said, a sign that said 7 days classes to lose diabetes. He gave me some handouts. That's the same program we just talked about. I gave him some handouts and information about healthy eating. It made sense to me. I thought about trying to change my eating. I attended one of Heartbeats for Life monthly meetings to hear more and sign up for the next program to reverse diabetes. At the time I started the program, 100%. Only 6 weeks later, I had my blood work done by Dr. Brown, and everything was normal. Total cholesterol was 92. It's 92, down over 100 points. Blood pressure was what it was when I was 20 years old. Diabetes completely gone, and I lost a lot of excess weight without feeling hungry or restricting portions. Just great. I attribute this all to myself and Carolyn. Without their information and help throughout the program, I would never achieve this great improvement in my life. I would never go back to my old habits. And he hasn't. I mean, he hasn't. It completely changed his life around. Completely. Lost over 100 pounds. He had a successful business, this guy. He had a son that was not quite ready to take on the business, but he wanted his son to do that, but just wasn't quite ready yet. But his health was so bad, memory was going, he just couldn't do it anymore. He changed his life by just changing his eating habits, and within weeks, everything changed. He is still working today, and that was a few years ago. And his son has taken over, in which he, the father has the pride, you can just see it in his eyes, it's so great, okay? And he would never experience that if he had gotten rid of the business he was thinking about doing when he was sick. But now it's not happening. Now he's living his life. In fact, he can't be here because they're out doing some kind of cruise or something like that, one of the bucket list kind of things that you do. And he had scheduled that over a year ago, so he felt so bad he couldn't be here, but nevertheless. So it really is great. I mean, just completely see somebody completely change their life, just so wonderful. And it can happen to you. At the end of our class sessions, we ask everybody questions. And these questions and answers that we get, we tell everybody, be as honest as you can, as brutal as you can, because we want to improve what we're doing. And we have. Time to time to time, we've tweaked it a little bit here and there until we think we have a program now that really works just spectacularly well. Here's some of the questions we give them and some of the answers we got. This was from CH almost a year ago, August 20th, 2015. Was the information what you expected and wanted about our class? The answer was, I was very pleased with all the handouts, recipes, tablet for notes, and of course, the dialogues we engaged with you and Carol. Question, any area we missed that we should have spent more time on? No, I felt the program was very comprehensive, provided us with ample opportunity to ask questions and clarify misconceptions. Was there too much food, not enough, or the wrong type? Not too much, not too little, just right. With a few cooking demos to your liking. Yes, especially the pizza. Should there be more or less? Since I think the actual teaching, the conversation, and the DVDs, videos, were the most important aspect of the program, I would suggest the current amount would be insufficient. The handouts informative and complete enough to your liking. Yes, it'd be quite useful as a reference over time. Were the DVDs to your liking, and were they informative enough to give you the information that you need? The DVDs were an excellent learning tool, second only to the actual tutoring and conversations that we encountered. We did not spend very much time on exercise information. Was that okay? We should have had more time for exercise. I think since the goal was to begin a revolution in how we eat and think about food, nutrition, and our health, it was important to spend 95% of the time on embracing the diet aspect more so than the supplemental exercise concept. We did not push very hard to have you do the journal, because we give everybody a journal. Perhaps we did not get across the idea how positive it can be. Do you agree or disagree? I began a daily journal documenting everything I eat, as well as weight and blood pressure log. Is very instrumental to the success I've achieved so far. Was meeting in my home okay? Or would you prefer to have met in a conference room or some other meeting place? Your home provided a warm, private, relaxed environment that was much more conducive to conversation and camaraderie than in a personal meeting room. It also gave us access to your kitchen, which was an integral part of the experience. Would you recommend this program to others? Absolutely. It's one of my goals to attract others to embark upon this journey. So that's really, couldn't ask for any better. Why do I have such a passion for this? I was born and raised in North Tonawanda, New York. There's somebody else here from Tonawanda, New York. All right, and it's interesting. It's a small town in between Buffalo and Niagara Falls. Okay. My dad had a gas station and car dealer repair shop, a big one, that he literally built cinder block by cinder block, so it was interesting. And I worked there. When he built the gas station, he put living quarters above it. So we lived upstairs, came downstairs to work, go back upstairs again. So I was doing that and working on cars and so on and so forth, and trying to decide kind of what I wanted to do with my life. And I was just still in high school, about to graduate and so on. I met my great wife. Wasn't married, of course, then, but close. And so it's kind of felt like I wanted to move on a little bit. And I know I can take over the gas station at some point in time if I wanted to, but I don't know if I really wanted to do that. But I was kind of thinking. One thing I did do in the gas station is I sold a lot of tires. I don't know why, guys looked at tires more, I don't know. We sell all kinds of tires. And the people we used to buy the tires from, the wholesalers, and I got to be good friends and stuff like that. Eventually I thought, gee, I sell a lot of tires. I think I'd like to go into the tire business. So I met with them, I said, I want to go into the tire business. They said, great, we're glad to help you out. You sell a lot of tires for us, and you can do just what we do. We order them from the manufacturer, put them in the warehouse, and then ship them out to the gas stations, the car dealers, and so on. And you can do the same thing. I said, great. They said, where are you going to do this? I said, well, right here, I think. They said, well, you can't do it here. We do it here. I said, I never thought of that. That's how naive I was. They said, well, look, you can go to Rochester, you can go to Syracuse. I said, Rochester's closed, where I go there. So I went there, right? And just started in business. I didn't know anything. Told my wife that's what I was doing. Actually sat down and typed out my own price list. And when I went to Rochester, instead of going back and forth every day, I decided I wanted to stay there. I found I could stay at the YMCA for a very inexpensive amount, which was good. YMCAs in those days all had rooms for rent. So I did that. And so I would stay there during the day, during the week, and then go back home on the weekends. Because I was looking for a place to expand and get an apartment so we could move there. Okay, and because I was staying at the YMCA, I had privileges there, because I had a room, to use the facilities. So I learned to play squash. Squash is a racket sport, kind of like racquetball and so on, very athletic and so on, and it's really great. It's also a sport that is very much Ivy League, right? So all my friends were squash players. All my friends were doctors and lawyers and so on that all graduated from those schools, and here I'm a guy that barely made it out of high school. If you think just having your group of friends be doctors and lawyers, maybe it's not such a good idea, well, maybe, but that's what it was. All right, so I did that. All right, I'm in the tire business. I'm in the tire business for 24 years. I sell it to a friend, okay? Take a year off, just kind of figure out what else I wanted to do. And I decided to go into retail and wholesale book business. So I get a big warehouse and so on, and doing the book business. So I'm selling books all over, including places like Amazon and so on. Okay. Now I'm in my 50s, and things are going fine. And I go to my doctor was a friend of mine because he's a squash player, and to get an annual physical. And he does some things. He says, you know, Jeff, he says, I know you're in good shape, but you beat the heck out of me in squash and stuff. He says, but look, you're 50 plus years old. I know your wife and your family and your business. He says, it might be a good time to do some tests, and we'll get a baseline for you, and then years from now, something happens, we get something to compare it to. This makes sense. So I decided to do that. Okay, so I do that, and he calls me in his office. He says, we found some problems. He says, do more tests. That's okay. So I did go back in and do more tests. Calls me back again a couple of days later. He said, we want you to come do more tests. I said, wait a minute, this is an awful lot of darn tests. He said, just do the tests and then don't give me a hard time. Okay, so we did that. A week later, he calls me in. He said, we got some serious talking to do. Okay. So I go there, and I'm feeling good. I'm playing squash, I'm running and everything else. And he sits me down, and when I walk into his office, I realize we're not buddies anymore. It's doctor and patient. And I feel the difference right away. Don't make me uneasy, I don't like that, but that's what it was. And he says, I got some bad news. I said, what's that? And he got all my x-rays and all my scans and all. We did nuclear tests, stress tests, and PET scans, and CAT scans, everything. Tons of stuff.
He's here.
Thank you very much. And so we did all the scans and everything else. He says, look, he says, I'm sorry, he says, but he says, you have a very serious heart condition. He says, and you need a heart transplant. Stents, bypass don't mean nothing to you. You got to have a transplant. The trouble is, I think you're going to die in 3 to 5 months is all you got. He says, right now, I checked, the transplant time wait line is 14 months. You're not going to make it. You're going to die, you're going to die pretty soon. I laughed at it. I thought he was kidding. But eventually he proved to me that indeed he was very, very serious and so on. I went to another doctor and did all the tests again in the doctor's group. Did tests again. Rochester, by the way, was a great medical community, particularly in those years. I did all the tests again, and they told me, your first doctor was a little optimistic. We think you only have 3 to 5 months, not 4 to 6. And so, all right. So I'm in the book business. So I don't know what to do. I decided 2 things. One is to get a hold of my doctors and my lawyers and my accountants, because I have a business. And get everything ready so when I go, my wife doesn't have a big problem dealing with all that. My wife also had her own business, a yarn business, knitting and so on, which she had for 24 years. So it's great. So I did that. And I also decided that I would tell my children, I had two daughters, and my relatives, but I would not tell my wife. I thought if she worries one less day, because she doesn't know about it, and it's one less day of worry, and I feel a little better about that. Now, that may sound a little goofy, but that's how I felt about it. So I did all that. Okay. All right, and also too, I'm in the book business, and I look around and I see some books that talk about reversing heart disease. And Dr. Ornish's book was one of them. He's around someplace here. Reversing heart disease. Right? So I took it off my shelf, and I went home and I said to my people, because my business actually run better without me than it did with me. I said, I'm staying home for a while, and I got stuff I want to do. So I read the book instantly, within a day or a half. Right? Read the whole thing and decided to change my diet. My wife came home from her job, business. And I said, I'm going to change our diet a little bit. I said, from now on, I'm going to do all the cooking. And she looked at me, and she, I can't imagine what went through her head. And she said, sure. And I'm sure she thought, this will last about a day and a half. All right, so I changed our diet, okay? And within a few weeks, I felt better and so on. Right? And a few weeks later, I was walking down to go play squash with a friend in the medical building where squash courts were. And my doctor's coming the other way because he just played with somebody. He said, I haven't seen you. I'm so worried about you. How you doing and stuff like that. I said, well, I'm still playing. Wait, you shouldn't do that. No, you're going to die in this court. I said, no, I said, I feel better. I changed my diet. His diet's smile. Diet don't do nothing for you. If you come back in, we'll do all the tests again. We're going to see what you're doing. So we did that. Did all the tests again. Again, it took over a day. All these tests. Terrible. And he calls me in his office, and I sit down, and I'm looking at him, and he's like at the wall there, and he's got 2 tables, all my x-rays and all my stuff, and he's got a big light table, on the wall. He's got that on that, and he's looking. I can tell he's nervous. Again, doctor, patient, not just friends. And I'm watching him. He's looking at him, and looking at him. Finally, he hangs his head. And when he does that, I still feel as though it happened a second ago. I started to cry. I figured, this is it. I tried, it didn't work, I'm done. He said to me, there's something wrong with machines. And I didn't make any sense. I said, what? He said, there's something wrong with machines. And I'm thinking, something wrong with machines? What the hell is he talking about? What? Come on, what are you saying? Obviously, I'm very stressed. He said, there must have been something wrong with machines the first time we did your tests, because these tests show you're getting better, and I know it's medically impossible.